What's up, everybody? Thanks for stopping by the show. This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and I'm your host, Sean Dustin. It's Wednesday. Happy hump day, I guess you would say. There's been a few different things going on in my world, so I started going back to work this week. So Monday was my first day back after being off for 14 months. Commercial construction is kind of tough. My back is sore. My feet hurt. All these things, but it's one of those things that you got to do sometimes. I'm still trying to pivot my way into the spaces where I'm working in currently with the podcast. That's still going to keep going. My things may slow down just a little bit as far as like publishing, but it's still moving forward. So don't worry about that. It's not going to fall off like it did a couple of times before back a year, maybe 2 years ago. So anyways, today I have a great guest for you. I met him in Clubhouse, and his name is Hanley Chan, and he is a former military veteran. He's a advocate for psychedelics, which is really what sparked my attention with him, being, former law enforcement or current. I'm not sure if it was former or current. Having that stance, is a interesting perspective that I'd sure like to hear from. And after these messages, I'm going to do the intro real quick. I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm trying to do this on Clubhouse as well. So I'm using a new piece of equipment, so bear with me. And I'm also trying to do this simultaneously on Clubhouse. So once we do this intro, we'll pop. I'll bring Hanley up and we'll get started with this. But I'm going to try and throw it out to Clubhouse here in just a minute. So here we go.
Sean Dustin spent time in federal and state prison for drug trafficking and fraud. Upon release in 2006, he had nothing but the clothes on his back, a bag of mail, and legal paperwork. In 2010, he kicked a long-time methamphetamine habit and started the long climb back up the ladder of life. This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast. If you want transparency and authenticity, you're in the right place. This is the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast, and this is Sean Dustin.
I missed it. I'm trying to do a share on Facebook and do all this stuff at the same time, man. Hanley, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Not too bad, man. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with me today or this evening. We're both on the West Coast. You're in San Francisco, California, and I'm in the Bay Area as well. So let me know a little bit about you, your background. So you had your former military, which is, thank you for your service. Appreciate that. And then you're also law enforcement. So let's touch a little bit about on that before we dive right into the meat of this thing, which is the advocacy work you're doing.
Okay. I was former Navy and Army National Guard. Basically born and raised in San Francisco. I've been in San Francisco all my life. I used to work at the San Francisco Patrol Special Police. My beat used to be in the Polk Street, where there are 4 cannabis clubs in that area. That's like back in 2003, 2004, and been supporting the cannabis community. Been basically kind of in uniform. Even Oaksterdam newspaper did an interview on me. I was the first uniform officer that actually supported medical cannabis dispensaries, protecting them and making sure they're safe. Then I used to serve in the federal police, DOD, Department of Defense, as a police officer, and then police academy instructor. And then went to my own private security company and investigation company and training too. That's what currently I do. And then I got appointed to the San Francisco Veterans Commission, and basically I'm a commissioner and serving right now as a commissioner. One of our bills that we supported, and the last commission hearing, we voted to support SB 519. That's the decriminalization of psychedelic bill. Through my work and advocacy, getting support from actually Clubhouse and the Clubhouse members that supported, even veterans supported the SB 519, came into our commission and voiced their support, urging the commission to support SB 519, Senator Scott Wiener's bill. So that's in a nutshell, that's what I've been doing. I'm a firm believer of psychedelics, of course. There's so many stories, very passionate stories that psychedelics help them in their journey to being healthy, a journey to not commit suicide, right? And you probably heard, and many heard, that 22 veterans die a day from suicide, and that's too much, and that's there should be zero veterans die, right? And this plant medicine is a miracle, and it helps all these veterans to heal themselves, and it shouldn't be a crime to use psychedelics. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's stuff that grows right out of the earth that was here before we were.
Mother Nature.
Right. One of my questions that I have is somebody who is uniformed, working in law enforcement. The you, how would you say this? So one of the biggest proponents of cannabis legalization was the what are those called? The police unions. They spent quite a bit of money trying to fight the initiative to legalize. That's pretty plain. How did what was the reception from other officers that you would come across once they found out that you supported this?
It's the same, right? Oh yeah, that you're supporting drugs. These marijuana is drugs that they're just like any other, like cocaine, and they're classifying that as one of those type of drugs, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, no, right? You see right now, right? You see many athletes, right, that have a whole bunch of pain utilizing cannabis. You see many people. This is alternative medicine, and you got to understand, even San Francisco, right? The San Francisco, my buddy Bill Angel, right? He was former deputy, right? He had cancer. I think in his thigh. He had cancer, and basically, he couldn't take opiates. He can't, for the pain. He can't take all these pharmaceuticals, right? So what else can you take? He tried cannabis, and cannabis helped him in his pain. And he was the first deputy sheriff in the whole United States that, back in the days of Michael Hennessy, he was the former sheriff, the longtime sheriff of San Francisco, gave him permission on duty, right? Of course,
Mm-hmm.
a secure setting, have the ability to smoke while on duty. that is like the first ever, period.
Yeah.
So that's how progressive this sheriff is. I mean, and like I said, it should be common sense. I mean, you got to understand. I believe there's was like 90 or 80% of Americans are okay with cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
So even it doesn't matter if you're left or right, or even middle.
Well,
It's not a thing anymore. It's not. It's not a crime to have cannabis.
no, I mean it's another point is that it's the stigma is kind of going away, and you can't deny the successes that they're having in different aspects of people's lives, from folks that have epilepsy. I remember watching this one thing on Netflix, or a documentary, and there was this child that was an epileptic, and he was having seizures all the time. And once he started taking edible marijuana, they like kind of went away, and he wasn't having hardly any of them at all after like 3 days of using it. So, I mean, there's something definitely there. I mean, I'm a user myself. I got off of a 7-year opiate addiction with edible marijuana, and used it to wean myself. Well, I weaned myself down, but then used it to transition. And now I microdose THC daily and use it as if it was like Prozac. Some people take, Prozac to feel, normal in their life, right? I use it in that direction. I've also done microdosing psilocybin as well.
Yep, I heard that there's a lot of benefits in microdosing psilocybin, ketamine infusing. Man, the athletes right now are right now it's very popular, right? Is doing ketamine infusion, and it works. I mean, I hear many athletes that say, oh, I that 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 microdosing or actually ketamine infusion, that's the way to go. That helped me a lot.
So explain that. What is that? Because infused with what? Because I remember I taken ketamine as a party drug, and in the rave scene, and when you take it, you'd feel like you're in a hole.
Right. I believe it's just like how infusion. They how you when you do chemotherapy, right? They put a bag. A saline bag, and then of course have a dosage of ketamine. So they'll cater to your type of dosing, and that they'll infuse it into your body, where you get it intravenously,
Yeah,
and just kind of relax and chill.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that MDMA definitely works, because when I had an experience with that back in the days when I first started raving. I was super homophobic, and I was probably about 18 or 19. And the first time I ever took ecstasy, I ended up in the rave was in a gay club, and I didn't know that. And so as I was going in there, I was because I didn't know anything about gay people, and I had an issue. And so, I went in there, and I'd already taken it, and I was noticing, I was like, oh my God, where are we at? Cause I just thought we were going to some rave club. Right. And, yeah, that was interesting. But, once it kicked in, and, you started feeling all the, things that you start feeling with it. I no longer from that point on felt that way about gay people. I was super accepting of them. I'd partied with them. I even had a guy come and hit on me. And, I was like, whoa, I'm flattered, but that's not, I don't, thank you, but no, thank you. And, it changed my perspective from that point on. And, there's something to be said about these drugs that they've kept from us.
Yeah, MDMA is wonderful. I mean, that's it's
Uh-oh, lost you. All right, we lost him. Well, he should be back here in a minute. Anyways, if you're still watching, yeah, we're talking about psychedelics. SB Senate Bill 519 is being run through the Senate floor here in California to decriminalize maybe like 6 or 7 different psychedelics, psilocybin. What else? There's ecstasy, ketamine. And there's a whole list of them. I should have had that. Where did he go? I think you hit the wrong button. Yeah, Jeremiah, I think you hit the wrong button too. Let me pull up Senate Bill 519 because it's really interesting. SB 519. So the room that I met Hanley in was a Clubhouse room, and it was basically it's a psychedelic room, and the guy that owns the Hate Street Shroom Shop runs a room in there. And so basically what I did is I was in there. I was talking. It was Saturday morning. I think he runs it from 6 a.m. to like 9 or something like that. And I heard Hanley in there talking, and they're both working, pretty diligently to, help sort of foster and bring this bill in to decriminalize this, because this is something that is really needed in society and our lives today. And I've used these things and they do work. And I'm a super big advocate of it. Obviously now I don't take it with my coffee and go to work, but I took it as soon as I got home. And it's one of those things that I feel like it makes me a better person at the end of the day, and it gives me a better attitude. Because and who doesn't want a better attitude, right? So yeah, I don't know, man. Hanley seems to have disappeared. He may come back, he may not. But I will be having at 6:00, I believe, on Friday. I'm gonna have the owner of the Hate Street Shroom Shop, James McConchy. And so we're going to be talking because he's doing a lot of stuff in the psilocybin space. And also I want to know about some of these other mushrooms that they have out there, because the Cubenzis or the psychedelic mushrooms, those aren't the only ones that are good for you. There's tons of them, like lion's mane, chaga. You've got a bunch of other different ones too that are really good for you, and they all do specific things. They have specific functions that they help you with. I don't know what they are, and so I'm hoping that James will be able to come and tell us a little bit more about that, as well as SB 519, and tell us a lot more about that and what how he's heading that fight or not fight but movement of getting it decriminalized. So I'm looking at, all right, so here's the Senate Bill 519. I'm going to read this, so bear with me. God, I hate when they do that. They give you a bunch of stuff and how to read a bill. All right, well, let me find one that's easier, a little bit more friendlier to navigate than that page. So bear with me. Hanley, something happened with his phone connection and we lost him. All right, so Senate Bill number 519, an act to amend section of the Health and Safety Code relating to hazardous substances, approved by Governor, filed with Secretary of State on October 2nd, Legislative Council Digest. Senate Bill 519, underground storage tank. Is this what? No, I think there's something else in there. God, why do they make things so difficult to read or find? Anyways, James will be able to tell us plenty more about that on Friday at 6 p.m. He's going to be on the show, and I'm looking forward to that one. Hanley, I don't know what happened, buddy. So here's the thing. One of the funniest things, I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and I was talking about having an interview podcast and all this other stuff. And I was like, I need to start doing some more solo stuff. I use my guests as kind of like a crutch that I can lean on, so I don't have to like think about things to talk about. It just, it'll come out of the conversation. But, it is kind of difficult to roll solo and just to be able to flow off the cuff, man. I got a lot of respect for these solo podcasters, people like Rush Limbaugh or maybe I better not say Alex Jones, but, these are people that just can talk forever and just keep rolling, boom, 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 rolling with it. I think that's really cool. So some updates on the show since you're here and you're watching. Like I said, I've started to slow down my publishing. I was doing 14 a month on the podcast. These were, some days I was doing 3 of them at a time, 3 of them in a row. And so my dates now for having these shows are people can only book Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. So know going forward that this show will be on either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, depending on when my guests, fill out the guest form and I can get it and do the show notes and the scheduling, the stream and all of that is when it'll come. So it could be that, very day, maybe 2 hours before that I schedule it like I did this one, or it could be, 2 days before, depending on when they send me that guest form so I can build this thing. So with that, I'm still got 70 in the queue that I'm trying to work through. So, not streaming as many is going to allow me to publish out some more and, get some of that queue down, man, that backlog of episodes that I have that I need to get out. And if you're somebody out there that's waiting on your episode and, let me know. Oh, there he goes. I was able to talk long enough.
Attorney General's media crew. So I've been planning this for a long time. I got the AG of California, right, on Clubhouse. So tomorrow, I mean, of course, we have a 24-hour room. It's called Asians Are Visible. It's celebrating AAPI, Asian Heritage Month of May.
Okay.
So we have the Attorney General on board or on Clubhouse, and like a AG, right?
Yeah.
Their press secretary comes and talk and see, what do we need, what we're gonna expect, and I gotta give them the brief, right?
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, that's great. So tell me a little bit more about the like what does that mean, the SB 519? If that goes through, is it going to be kind of like what they did in Oregon, where it's only approved for medical use, not you have to be prescribed or only for research?
Okay, so SB 519 is the decriminalization of the bill, and that's all it does, right? It just backs up the law enforcement, where say, hey, you can't charge a crime. So currently there's of course, there's sections of the penal code, like if I catch you with a illegal substance, right, I could charge you under either the health and safety code or the penal code, right? And so once this pass, it'll change that, and basically you can't charge that person with a crime. That's all. The list of the bill, right? Whatever is instructed under the bill, right? It'll be decriminalized.
So that means that you can possess it and not be charged with it.
Yep.
But most of these are plants that need to be grown. So is it legal to grow it, or is it?
And that's the other discussion where the cities are gonna have to have to regulate it, right?
Yeah, because I live in an area, like even when the marijuana one passed, they still in Brentwood, California, they still didn't. I mean, yes, it's legal and you can, grow whatever, but some of the cities can still say no, we're not going to allow it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna, but it's up to the city, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with the cannabis industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
The cities will have to regulate. The cities will have to kind of make something happen, and that's another discussion, right?
Yeah.
San Francisco, of course, will probably work with the supervisors and figure it out.
Yeah. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I would definitely like to get involved in that because, with the edible marijuana industry is booming right now. Being able to get CBG, CBD, and a mixture of THC in there as well, which is really beneficial. I would love to see edible, microdosing of psilocybin, and maybe combining all three of those to find a happy medium as well.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna be on, like, the cities have to figure it out, right?
Hmm.
Um, Michael James, right?
Hmm.
Uh, he owned the owner of Hate Street Shroom Shop.
Yep.
He'll probably have to figure out, what kind of products that once we talk to the supervisor to actually legalize it for, you know, I think the bill allows a certain amount of it's called compensation, right?
Hmm.
Because you're gonna grow it, you're gonna produce it, right? You, of course, you're doing all the labor, and it's really hard, right? Just
Hmm.
like cannabis, right? When you're doing all the labor, when you're trying to help make it, uh, you have to have some type of reasonable compensation, right? For your time, because
Yeah.
you're not going to do it for free, and you're putting out all that resource, right? So that's another discussion.
Yeah. James was going to be on Friday. So I was just, when I was on just
Right.
rambling or just talking about that was coming up on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there should be, once it passed, right? Because SB 519 is going to the floor for full Senate.
Hmm.
Once that happens, once it passes, then there's a lot of work.
Yeah.
A lot of work just to do.
Yep, for sure. All right. So let's switch over to Jiu-Jitsu. So how long you been doing Jiu-Jitsu?
Are you there?
Yep.
Okay. I've been doing jujitsu since what, 99.
What belt are you?
I'm a black belt.
Okay. Okay. So you must be pretty good.
I'm okay. I mean, I teach at Dragon House MMA in the city.
Okay.
We produce a lot of mixed martial art fighters that fights for Bellator, LFA, Combatas, and all these other promotions.
Okay. Okay.
Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. We have a couple fighters that fight that. So.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I saw some of your pictures on Instagram. You had one with what you call him, the goat, which is
Khabib.
Khabib. Yeah.
Yep.
That guy's a beast, man.
Yep. I love. Hey, send me location. We'll tap in.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you had one you ever met Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I talked to him before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. He's always busy.
Yeah, yeah. He's the reason why I started this podcast. I was listening to him for a couple of years, and he's always saying, "Oh, you should start a podcast." And I thought he was really talking to me, and so I did.
Right.
So right on, man. Well, I appreciate that. Do you got any? This podcast is really, it started out as bottoms and life struggles because of kind of like what I've been through in my life and different things, right? You talked about helping veterans, and you are a veteran yourself. So did you suffer any type of PTSD yourself?
Yeah, I'm 100% disabled veteran, so I have what we call a panic and anxiety disorder,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm trying to get the psychedelic study, trying to get into the psychedelic study because
Mm-hmm.
I'm prescribed all these medicine, and the side effects actually is messing me up. So I don't take it anymore.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Those pharmaceuticals, man, they can be wicked.
Oh yeah.
How they make you feel, how they, can get you hooked quick. The opioids especially, but I mean, I could imagine. I've talked to some folks that struggled with taking medication for bipolar and some of these other ones, and they just they don't feel like themselves,
Right.
And especially like Seroquel and some of these other ones that you would see guys on that in prison. They take that medication, and it's like a shell of a person sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, thank you for sharing some of your time with us, and
No
explaining a
problem.
little bit about the Senate Bill 519. You want to let everybody know where they can find you, or where they can find
I'm always in Clubhouse, so
yeah.
I think I'm Clubhouse addicted.
It's easy to do, man. It's there's never been a medium like that I've ever seen. I remember, well, that's not true. I remember they used to have, remember Love Lines,
Oh,
the phone one where it's like a party room, like a party chat line.
yeah. I never tried that, but yeah.
Yeah, there was something like that, and they had that, and there was but not the same. This is like completely different. It reaches so many people. People on there are generally, I mean, I've been to a couple of rooms where I didn't really care for, but I mean, most of the time, there's real conversations, real things going on, real people, having real conversations, and I like it, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's why I'm kind of addicted to Clubhouse. I mean, I'm trying to do a what's called a Clubhouse meetup.
Okay.
Actual people that lives in Bay Area, and kind of meet up and just hang out, have coffee or something like that.
Oh man, I'd be into it.
Yeah.
For
So,
sure.
yeah. I'm in Facebook, Twitter, IG, and Instagram and stuff like that. So that's where, or LinkedIn. You can find me all the social medias.
All right. Well, you heard that, everybody. And yeah, good luck with all the stuff that you're doing and the advocacy work that you're doing as well. Do you work with any youth organizations?
Only for Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
Only for Jiu-Jitsu. But like I said, another thing that I'm trying to do is trying to galvanize the athletic community. Like, Rodney Bailey is one of my good friends that is a psychedelic advocate, right? Former NFL player, Super Bowl champion, right? Used
Yeah.
to play in the New England Patriots, Seattle Seahawks, and he's a big advocate for. And I've been pushing him to. He has this in Clubhouse called Pro Athletes for Alternative Medicine. So
Okay.
it's for psychedelics and cannabis and psychedelics. Yeah, and I'm working with him to kind of recruit all these other athletes that support it.
So there was one. Yeah, I just remembered something I wanted to ask you. So I remember I was listening to a Joe Rogan episode, and he was talking with a doctor and another guy that was a former vet, been to combat, and they were talking about the correlation between CTE and having TBIs with explosives.
Yep.
People that have been in combat, and some of the therapies that they were saying, and they were talking about, they were saying they were having good luck with, and that they were working quite a bit to snap people out of that.
Oh yeah.
So
Prime example. Find this guy named Jose Martinez. Prime example of this person. Psychedelics and cannabis helped him. Right. This guy is a hero. He got blown up in Afghanistan. Blown up. Right. He doesn't even have he have one arm. Right. Barely have a body and no legs and one arm. Woke up and died in the operating table. Woke up in the operating table, and everybody was like shocked, right?
Yeah.
He wanted to kill himself. I mean, come on now, right? I mean, if I have one arm, I'll kill myself too. But like I said, what helped him, right?
Yeah.
Was psychedelics and cannabis, and till this day, he became Paralympics champion, or Paralympics bronze medal. He won the bronze medal in Paralympics for surfing, right? And like I said, for him to do that
Yeah.
tells, hey, anybody could do that, right? It's a if I was blown up, right, I would take psychedelics to live, right?
Yeah. 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 I'm a fan, man. I definitely know that they work because they work on me.
Yeah.
All right, Hanley, it was good talking to you, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
I'll see you in the Hate Street Shroom Shop clubhouse room the Saturday morning coffee. What is it? The psychedelic coffee.
Yep.
I think that's what it is. So yeah, and then also you ever do that clubhouse thing, man? Let me know for sure. I'd be more than happy to join in that.
Okay, cool.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
Have a good evening.
All right, you too.
All right, bye. All right, there we go. Well, I saved that one. So yeah, if you're still listening and you haven't tuned out yet, thanks. Thanks for supporting the show. Thank you for being listeners to the show. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely trying to, turn this into something that I can do full time. It hasn't happened as not, I'm not going to say as quickly as I wanted to, but I put a lot of effort into it this past year, trying to maybe turn that corner, and I haven't been able to do that yet, but it's coming. I'll figure it out. And, I'm going to keep on plugging away and putting out episodes. We're the nonprofit's still going to it's going forward. Nothing has really changed other than, I've had to get used to going to work every day and, doing what I can in the evenings, as moving forward. And so, this is going to be a learning period for me for sure. And, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm up for the challenge. And, any suggestions that you guys have out there, the listeners and the audience and the people that are consuming, what I'm putting out as far as content goes, do me a favor, man, hit me up at, nowhere to go but up now at gmail.com. I do have a website now. Oh my God. I just forget about this, man. The website is nowhere to go but up pod.com. And there's going to be a tab on there, a page on there for the nonprofit, and actually, the mission statement, and what it's about, and what I'm trying to do with helping 18 to 24-year-old males coming out of incarceration and re-entering the communities. With my board of directors that I just put together, is some amazing people that are themselves formerly incarcerated too. So, I mean, this nonprofit is got mostly board members that have been to prison and are currently doing amazing things with their lives. I got two that that haven't been, but have been impacted by somebody that in their life that has been incarcerated. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing what this thing is going to produce, man, and how awesome that's going to be. And so, yeah, look forward to that. So the new website is nowhere to go but up pod.com. My email address is nowhere to go but up now at gmail.com. And if you want to check out my link tree, you can always do that as well. It's linktr.ee/nowhere to go but up. There's a lot, all my social media is on there. Actually, all my social media is on the website too. There's a few other things that you can find on my link tree that you won't find on the website yet, because it's still in progress. It's still getting built. All the pages aren't up. We just threw it up, what we had so far, and just so we can have it live and somewhere to go. Let's see. I think that just about wraps it up. tune in on Friday, 6 p.m. We're going to have James from the Hate Street Shroom Shop. And we're going to be talking about Senate Bill 519 in California that's on the Senate floor. Right, it's going to get voted on, and that's the decriminalization of some psychedelics. So that's going to be interesting. Plus, I want to know, like I said before, I want to know about all the other different kind of mushrooms that are out there that are good for you and have great benefits. And I know that there's certain ones that do specific things. And so I want to learn more about that. And hopefully you do too. So until next time, keep it 100. Stay true to yourself. Everything else is just noise.
You've been listening to the Nowhere to Go But Up podcast. Sean is a single dad, a union blue-collar guy, and he spent time in federal and state prison for drug trafficking and fraud. When he was released from prison in 2006, all he had was the clothes on his back, a bag of mail, and some paperwork. Since then, he's turned his life around and shares the struggles and successes on this podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we hope you were moved. To connect to the show, book a guest spot. For merch, Patreon, PayPal, and social media links, go to linktr.ee/nowhere to go but up.
On Instagram at Nowhere to Go But Up Now. On Twitter at But Up Now. On the YouTube channel at Nowhere to Go But Up Podcast.
See you next time.